Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to talk over some footage here for a second, but first I'm going to show Pikachu. Remember, if you like these kind of videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share if you want it. Helps the channel, thanks. So, again, I've said it doesn't matter how competent this game is from certain levels. It doesn't matter how progressive some new takes on characters are, because there are some good things in this game. This game and the wall system is such a fundamental, foundational flaw of the game, right? And I've talked about this right from the very beginning, but hopefully I can show this off just in a few clips here. Watch as I talk over it with my ASMR voice. Ja nie uczę tobie angielskiego, że to pochodzi z tobą na swadania. Это мой толстый котик. Чисатку то пусико. Anyway, let me talk over some footage, right? And hopefully you get what I'm getting at, because it actually encourages you to play the game unoptimally, even if anything, right? Because it's going to be a real big clusterfuck trying to actually, you know what I mean, accurately judge this. So let's look at some clips here for a second. So first, what I want to demonstrate here is maybe like an obvious idea with Kai. You know, if the guy's in the shock state, whatever, combo to flippy kick, then you link off it, then do whatever, right? Toned down in this version of the game, but maybe it will be better again in another version, right? But remember, there's actually like an invisible kind of like time meter, whatever kind of system nerds will end up calling it, whatever. So every time you play the match, it's not just going to be off a blocked charge move. So if you see here, if you just hit the guy a couple of times, just this simple combo no longer works, right? And also shown in this clip is this is one of the few instances in this version of the game you basically can only get the slump version if you hit the guy with the ground attack, whereas before it actually used to be a little bit more lenient to at least make this mix-up theoretically possible, right? Do you know what I mean? But now it's basically you have to hit a ground hit, so it's like almost not even here or there, but even you can see all that put together. Boom, what do we have here? Even if you were to go for the mix-up, the wall still wants to break. It is not regenerated in time, okay? Let's look at some other clips. Let's talk about how stupid it is that supers always break the wall. And people are like, oh no, it's good because, you know, you're getting this like bonus, whatever, I guess, and it knocks down. Well, what about in a game that is very pre-planned as it is so far? A character like Kai doing a sort of max range stand slash stand hard slash doesn't combo to fireball in this game. Doesn't combo to slide. It only combos to super fireball. So you're telling me then I actually get punished for this. If we're playing footsies, spacing, whatever, and I punish you in the corner with this, and I can only super fireball to get like a real punish or a super, it breaks the wall. But if we're playing footsies mid-screen, look at the difference in damage I get. And meter build. You don't think that's a flaw? That's a brain fart right there as well. Look at that. Next. And these next clips, throw me a bone here, a grain of salt. I just want you to try to think in your head, you know, I'm going to be doing, you know, some just whatever. I'm just going to be hitting the guy, throwing the guy, whatever it might be, a little bit of pressure stop. Just imagine it's a real match and there's some lulls between the match. Maybe Amelia hits me here, I hit her here, then she hits me. This is really just to demonstrate to you, imagine a real match if you're playing the game. You're not always going to be pressuring the guy the whole time. They're not always going to be pressuring you. But imagine there's stray hits here, a stray hit there, a stray hit there. Can you tell in these clips if when you have waited long enough on this invisible wall regeneration meter, whatever, again, the nerd community is going to call it, can you tell? Do you know for sure when the wall has regenerated? Can you tell from these clips? A lot of times it seems like you're waiting quite a bit. Sometimes it seems you have to wait longer than you should have to before the wall goes back up. So this is what I'm getting at. If you're trying to play the game optimally from an optimal perspective, of course, you'd want to have certain routes or routes. Is it routes or routes? What is English? How do English people? My English is so terrible, but God, I'm a fucking idiot. What can I say, dude? Fuck me. But the whole point is, imagine trying to play this game optimally, and now in the back of your head, you have to count on your head. It's like, ah, fuck, the guy was pressuring me a little bit. Can I go for this specific route? Or was I pressuring them enough that their wall is still kind of fucked up? Is their wall still about to break? And it's like, what an added nuance to the game in a negative light. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be somewhere, you know, there's somewhere with blue titties out there. there's someone out there with some blue titties, right? There's got to be somewhere that someone's going to be like, oh, this is so complicated. I have to now count in my head the amount of times they hit me and the amount of times I hit them. And I have to count in my head how long we've been hitting each other. Because then I'll know once I hit my conversion, which combo to do. And my point is, at the end of the day, this is such a fundamental flaw because it's going to encourage people just to be like, fuck, I may as well just break the wall. In this version of the game, they already made it harder to get the slump animation, even if it was supposedly, even if they would have fixed the regeneration going faster, they made it harder to get the slump animation, which, you know, I actually thought that when I first saw the change to dust, I thought maybe they changed dust so at least if you go for slump down animation combos, at least then you have a very damaging full damage overhead option. Even if the low option, you don't get the full combo. But of course, you can only get a slump animation now. It seems off a legitimate ground hit, basically. But that's what I'm getting at, dude. It is such a fundamental flaw. It doesn't matter how competent the game is in certain aspects. It doesn't matter how progressive the game is in certain aspects, because there are certain cool parts about the game. The game is built on such a fake, fundamental, shaky foundation. It feels like a strong gust of wind could blow it over, because it's like, no matter how good certain parts are, it's like, man, the wall is a complete clusterfuck and it is not well thought out at all. And it's going to encourage people to actually play the game in a worse way, more likely than not. So anyway.